Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity, Ezel, back in Card Fight Vanguard, Ezel on the Vanity weekly video. So if you guys enjoyed, don't like, comment, subscribe, and subscribe. This time we are covering some more reveals, like the final reveals from set 12 actually, and the start of set 13 reveals, which is great because as we all know, at some point along the line, probably not today, because at least we know we're getting Welser stuff, but somewhere along the line we're going to get the new Youthberg, full blast, I think his name is, the Verena, which people are assuming is going to take 2 Prayer Dragons, and I can't wait to hear people complain about that shit, and the new Leonorm, which for once, in my opinion, is actually well deserved. So I actually can't wait to see that one personally. So let's go to the start chart and see what we got. First up, let's go over the card that was revealed last time, but I had already uploaded the video, or the video was already in the process of uploading when I got this reveal, and I did put my opinion on it in the comments, but basically, let's go over it one more time. Wish Upon the Moon. It totally has nothing to do with the moon being in this. Is not the only reason why I'm playing this again. I just gotta think of a real excuse. Anyways, grade 3 normal order. Choose a trick moon from your drop zone and call it to the rear guard circle, and as end of turn, it gets auto when it becomes an original address. Choose one of this card's auto address and gets plus 10k power for the turn. All around, it's a solid card. It can trigger Trickstar's counter charge ability, and not to mention the fact it can make it so when it crosses overdress, or not cross overdress, I mean if it did cross overdress then that's a thing, but you know, overdresses into Vylord, it gives the Vylord plus 10, so basically Vylord's a 28k booster. All around, very solid. Its art is beautiful. I'm not saying that because of the moon and or the aura going around Trick Moon. The sad thing is though, because Vanguard uses up so many orders, it's kind of more spar for space, so it's like a 1 of 2 of tech, but there's no more other warn about that card. And then we have Splation Reactor Dragon, grade 3 10 persona, 13k base. Auto rearguard when your Vanguard, Draco Tree, or Masquez's card name attacks. If this unit's on a rearguard Draco Tree marker on the counterbots to stand it. Okay, cool. So Orfist Masquez has. Well, okay, you wouldn't use an Orfist Masquez unless you like wanted to do some convoluted booster bullshit, especially with the CB. Same with Gravidia Nordlinger, but with Griffogila, it works with that one, and it can work with any Masquez from Brandt Gate, so if they give us another one, I mean, it could work well with that one if it doesn't cost too much CB, so definitely an option, and I'm going to go screw with my Griffogila deck after this, so 3 of 2 of, I guess, because restander. Then we have the card I'm disappointed in, because, man, I wish this thing did something different. Gravidia Willamette. I was looking forward to running this in my Gravidia deck too, and then I saw its skill. And then I hated everything. Grade 2 to 5k shield, 10k base, contains rear guard or guard circle. If your Vanguard is Gorka, Video, Nordling, or Masquez, it gets with 5k power and 5k shield, active on both players' turns. You know, it reminds me of a specific grade 2 that came out in Gravidia Nordlinger's first set. That was inherently better because it gained the exact same stats, except the only requirement for it was you have 5 or more meteors between your drop zone and order zone, which this deck does extremely well. Well, 2 of if you choose to run it. I can warrant nothing after that because honestly, the other one's inherently better considering this one requires you to specifically be on Nordlinger Masquez. Then we have Revamp 12-03. Okay, I need to go check through like all the bullshit Battleroid units from Brandt Gate and just see if their names line up at all, because I feel like this is supposed to represent a pattern. Anyways, Grid on boost 5k shield, 8k base, continues rear guard circle. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard, Draco Tree, or Masquez card, it gets with 5k power. Cool, we're getting generic support. Honestly, it's not that great for either, in my opinion, it's not that great for either Gravidia or Orfist, but hey, you know what can also use this for? Draco Tree regular, so Griffogila has 2 support cards now. About time we get Brandt Gate shit. All we need is Dragon Empire stuff and we'll be good. I'm not joking with you. I tried to go through Dragon Empire to see how many cards I found with Draco Tree support. I found like, what, 3 and that was it, so take that as you will. Either way, Revamp, solid. It's an okayish card. I guess like 2 over 3 of in like a Griffogila focus deck, and the other 2, if you have the space, 2 of. Then we have some new Desire Devils. First up is Desire Devil Gotsuku. Grade on boost, 5k shield, 8k base. This one's a squirrel beaver thing. Anyways, auto input. When this unit is put into your soul from the rear guard, put 2 hand cards into your soul and choose a card with grid on its card name from your soul and add it to your hand. Cool, it can add a Persona, right? It could add Masquez, it could add OG, it could add another one if they end up making another grid on. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, that is 2 free hand cards to soul. You know, what if that's what they do? Because I think Shinobu's fighting this week. What if that's what they do with Shinobu? They give him a new grade 3 because what was the other character? No, because every character has that. Every deck that has a Masquez so far, outside of Gridon, has been used. But Shinobu did say he was going to follow something. What if he just used a new Gridon entirely? That got me thinking, but ignoring that thought process, putting 2 hand cards to soul, I don't know, it feels a little hefty, because listen to whenever I see someone play Greed on, unless they got really lucky, that tends to be basically you're sending your entire hand, but 1 card to soul, and then you're getting something out of it, but, I mean, cool, loops Personarize, and I guess can get average amount dragging back into your hand, but, it's a 2 in my opinion if you choose to run, but for me it's not. And then we have Desired Devil Mushian. Worst version of the boar, in my opinion, or rhino from the festival collection. Grade 3 Persona, 13k base. Auto soul when your Vanguard with Greed on its card name attacks, if it is specifically the second battle of that turn and not more, not less, and you do not have a rear guard with the same name as this card, you may call this card to rear guard circle, and if you call it until end of turn, this unit cannot be put into your soul by Vanguard's ability to 5k power. Cool. Upside, I guess it works with Mazquez, so there's that. Downside, in my opinion, it can't send itself to soul, so you can't use it with OG Greedon to get 2 restands more consistently. If they just didn't keep this part of the ability, this card would be so much better, and it would be so much more useful for OG Greedon. And then they gave it the ability, meaning it's not useful at all. So, I mean, it's okay. It gets multi-attack, quote-unquote, for free, and it makes itself an 18k swing, but in my opinion, it's like it's either you run it as a 2 or you don't run it at all, so take that as you will. That's my opinion anyways. Then we have Blue Deathster, Sky Rendering Night God, Avant-garde Richard. So, Richard, this thing is just I remember the first question my friend had about this wasn't anything about the skill. It was whose bright idea was to put Avant-garde into another robot, and then my response to that was, isn't that just like the normal evolution of like robots in anime? It's just put them into other robots and have them fight to the death. That's kind of what this is, honestly. Anyways, grade 3 Trapper Star 13k base, and interesting evolution to say the least. Act hand, if your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, reveal this card and bind a Blue Deathstar Sky Render Avant-garde, so basically the OG specifically, on your Vanguard circle to write this card as stand, and at the end of turn, this unit gets all the original act abilities of the card bound for this cost. Basically meaning it can get Avant-garde to stand skill, which is great. And then Auto Vanguard, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked into anything. If your soul has a Blue Deathstar Sword period in it, by ditching 2, basically the drive check, choose a Blue Deathstar Sky Render Avant-garde from your bind zone, ride it as stand, and it gets plus 10,000 power, but lose the drive till end of turn. So basically, this deck can get 3 attacks. Let's just say you don't Persona, actually, let's just preface the dot. Let's say you Persona Road, then you use this boy, but for the record, you can use on your first grade 3 turn if your opponent is at grade 3. It's just better to wait until you Persona Ride, or if you're me, you just throw everything you can, because you get this ability regardless, as long as you have the Blue Deathstar in Soul, so there's that. But, anyways, you Persona Ride, you reveal this, you ride on top of Sky Render after binding it, and then you use the skill to, let's just say, send the Shock strategy, the one that gives 5k into Soul, draw a card, 5k, and then, swing with Vanguard, do the thing, since you Persona Ride, free restand, attack again, they guard, whatever, you ditch 2, and then you ride from the bind zone, Avant-garde, there's your 3rd attack. So, all around, works really well with Avant-garde, trust me, I've played the deck enough to understand it, and also my friend has played enough to understand it. It's just really good. It gets multi-attack, it gets 3 attacks, and I mean, you can pull this off on either second grade 3 turn for the 3 attacks, or if you just want 2 Vanguard attacks, or possibly even 3 still if your opponent for some reason takes the Vanguard, you can pull it off at, what's it called, trying to think of what it's called. You can turn it off at turn 3, so, I mean, take that as you will. Either way, Avant-garde, very solid grade 3, new skill, love it, 4 of. I don't know, I was about to cough. Then we have Blue Deathstar Asagi Milestone. Oh, that's his name. Great 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto when placed on rear guard circle. If you have Vanguard Blue Deathstar in its card name by counterblasting 1, choose a grade 3 or greater card with Avant-garde in its card name from your drop zone, put it to your hand. Cool. Loops back this thing, loops back Persona Rise, makes your ride deck just CB1. Pretty solid. And then contains rear guard of a strategy. Card was put from your order zone into the soul this turn, it gets 5k power. Cool, she's a 13k, he, she, they, them, whatever, is a 13k booster for the turn. So, or swinger, which is actually helpful. So all around, very solid grade 1. Not amazing, but it is a 2 of 3 of options. The weird thing is it has like the quality art of a double rare, but then like the rarity of a rare. I don't know. Anyways, on to our next card, and that is Drag Ritter Wajudi. I can't wait for us to get a specific grade 3 that's name is Drag Ritter something. When that day comes and it actually has a Vanguard skill, I don't care how shitty it is, I don't care how broken it is, hell, I don't care if it's a promo. If they actually legitimately make a Drag Ritter grade 3 that has a Vanguard skill, doesn't matter, like I said, doesn't matter how bad it is, but if they actually make it a good Vanguard skill, if they actually tried, and it's around the entire Drag Ritter archetype, I will cry to the heavens for 12 hours straight, record it, upload it to YouTube, and while my voice is recovering, play the ever-living shit out of that grade 3. Anyways, I was about to say 4 of Wu Judy without even saying the skill. Anyways, great turns to 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rear guard when this unit attacks into a vanguard by counterblasting 2. Choose one of your opponent's vanguards and choose one of your opponent's rear guards. So every 2 of that unit's grade and retire all those chosen rear guards. Basically, grade 4 kills 2. Grade 10. So if you hit this Griffo Gila, kill 5. I think this was made specifically in case Griffo Gila becomes meta defining. So, you know, basically before they released Griffo Gila, and they just assumed it would be, and then they just took this, like, just in case, let's just give them a Borg nuke, and then, yeah, it turns out that doesn't work. Sadly, it doesn't pick your Vanguard, because if it did, then it would make Griffo Gila good for Dragon Empire, but, it's 50-50, especially with the CB2. Either way, though, it's an okayish card, 2 over 3 of, and Bushy, if you're listening to this, take that to heart, because I'm actually being legit serious. I will cry to the heavens for 12 hours straight. I have the footage ready for this. Next up, we have Abundance Fairy, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto placed on when this unit boost. If your rear guard was placed by your card's ability this turn, choose one of your opponent's vanguards, and this unit gives 2k power until end of battle for every 2 of that unit's grade. Cool, so if their vanguard is a grade 3, then that's a free 2k plus, let's go, and if it's a grade 4, then it's a 4k plus, and if it's a grade, what's it called, if it's a grade 10, like Griffo Gila, it's a 10k plus, so it's an 18k booster. So they've just made 2 cards now that abilities just happen to reference the opponent's vanguard's grade. I really do feel like Bushy's because I assume they made like half of these, or like they probably had like a few cards made before we knew about Griffo Gila's existence. So I'm assuming they thought that Griffo Gila was going to be broken with enough time, so they just set these guys out to like set 13. And then now that Griffo Gila, to my knowledge, isn't super broken, these cards, in my opinion, seem really weird. But hey, maybe that's just my thought process on it. It's an okayish grade 1, though. Again, I feel like it'd be a lot better if it just targeted your vanguard, making Griffo Gila more valuable. But if my assumption is right and they made these beforehand, I'm assuming they thought Griffo Gila was going to be more broken than it actually is. So take that as you will. For now, we have a hate card against it, quote unquote, and yeah, that's pretty much all I can give it for it. 2 of, if Griffo Gila becomes meta, but otherwise, kind of 50-50.
Then we have our last cards, which if I felt like moving them onto the Google Slides, I would, but I'm too fucking tired and I want to go to sleep after this, so let's go and get the remaining cards over with. All for Brandt Gate products. Grade 3 turn 13k base, the Blitz Security Chief Hammerez, auto rearguard when you operate a product card by soul blasting 1, he can get plus 10k for the turn. Cool, you know, it's not a hard one per turn, meaning that if you operate an order card multiple times, you can get 10k as long as you keep paying the cost. He has a cool art, and honestly, he's a solid grade 3 for big number push, so possibly a 1 to 2 of Tech and Belstra, in my opinion. And then we have Blist Assistant Soroton, so a grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rearguard. When a grade 2 rearguard or product card is put into your order zone, by putting this unit to soul, you get to countercharge 1. Cool. It gets you soul, which based off of both this thing and stuff like Cophilial and whatever that grade 2 is, whose name's eluding me right now, but the one that's really good for Wellstra and product searching. It fixes the soul problem. It gets the CC so we can abuse our counterblast more often. All around is a very solid support grade 1, and I'm not saying an easy 3 over 4 of in the deck just because of what it does and what it does alone. The only downside is I feel like it should be when it operates a product card and not when you place one into your order zone, but hey, still a very solid grade 2, or grade 1, and then the last card we have is not 2 copies, I'm sorry, like I said, I'm really fucking tired. Grade 2 instead 5k shield, 10k base, of Blitz Accounting Department staff Virginia. Auto when placed on rearguard circle. If you have Vanguard Western's card name by counterblasting 1, choose a product card from your order zone and operate it. Cool, we have more operators, which is nice. And then auto rearguard once per turn. When a product card in your order zone is operated by another card's ability, not hers, sadly, soul blast to draw a card. Cool, she can net back resources to hand, she can play a free product, or she can operate a free product card just for simple cost of CB1. All around, not bad, and now I have a reason to go replace Ophelio finally. So all around, very solid grade 2. I like her skill. This one is mainly here just in case as a bomb rush tactic, and I might honestly run him as a 2 of Tech in my build. This I'm definitely running as a 4 of, if not a 3 of, and then this one is 100% a 4 of because I'm replacing Ophelio for it. So without further ado, guys, want to hear. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry this little last bit is rushed, but like I said, I'm extremely tired. So I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us on Twitch, and don't forget to stand up your vanguards.